What is the one thing that will make you successful? Hello, everybody. My name is Marcelo, and it's great to be with you here. And I was at the gym listening to this book, The One Thing by Gary Keller. But before we actually talk about it, I just wanted to say how happy I am for having the privilege of being here with you, doing these YouTube videos. Honestly, I'm blown away. Every video has been getting like 40 to 60 views. I had a video now getting almost 200 views. Man, it's 200 people watching me talk for like 10 to 20 minutes. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time to be here, supporting the channel, and just for being a part of this journey that I started. So thank you. I really appreciate it. So as I was saying, I was at the gym a few minutes ago, and I was listening to this audiobook called The One Thing, right? So the author is Gary Keller and also Jay Papasan. And as I was listening, I kept thinking, man, this principle, meaning the principle, I'll talk about it right now with you, the idea that you need to focus on one thing kind of aligns with what the Bible says about our priorities. So I figured, why not try to deal with what he was saying there and trying to bring to our Reformed Theology perspective, right? So in this book, Gary Keller and the other author, Jay Papasan, so they'll talk about the idea that success will come once you start focusing on the one thing, the most important thing that you do that will make everything else easier and unnecessary. So that's the question that he poses, or they pose, right? Which is, what's the one thing that I can do in my business that, it will be such that everything else will be easier or will be even unnecessary, right? So obviously the idea, it's about you having like such a disciplined focus and letting just one priority shape everything else in your business, in your life, wherever you want to improve, right? And as I thought about that, I was like, man, I was just reminded of something that is very central to what I believe, to Reformed theology in general, which is there is one thing that should govern everything in our lives, which is the glory of God. So I think what I wanted to say here, I have like three or four points, is that the ultimate focus, number one, is the glory of God. So in Reformed theology, we have this foundational question that's a part of the Westminster Shorter Catechism. So if you're a Presbyterian, you know what's about to happen right here, which is the first question of the Catechism, right? Which basically says, what's the chief end of man? So chief mean the main, right? So what is the main goal of man? What is the purpose of man? And the answer is, man's chief end is to glorify God and enjoy him forever. So that means that the ultimate one thing that should shape everything that we do is the glory of God. So whether it's work, whether it's ministry, whether it's YouTube videos, whether it's relationships, personal goals, our finances, everything needs to be filtered through this greater purpose. Does this glorify God? That's it. Let me try to fix the light here real quick. I feel it's a little, okay. It's kind of blinking, So, anyways, 1 Corinthians 10:31, right? So whether you eat, drink, whatever you do all for the glory of God. I've been talking about this verse here nonstop because it's a central verse to Reformed theology, so I'll quote it every time. So in a sense, this is like the Christian version of the one thing of Keller's principle. You know, the one thing that should shape everything that we do is God's glory. And obviously, we have many biblical examples, but it reminded me of the story of Martha and Mary in Luke 10. So, you know, as I was listening, I was just like reminded of this story that, you know, we see in the New Testament. Because Jesus visits their home, right? Jesus, the Son of God, visits their home, and Martha is too busy. She's too busy with many things. She's cooking, she's cleaning, she's doing serving, she's doing everything. And Mary, she's just at the feet of the Lord, listening to him. Martha then, bro, imagine, a very important guest goes to your house. You're there trying to make everything perfect for them, and your partner is just like listening to them, and you're doing all the work. She was frustrated, right? And she asked him, like, bro, you're gonna let her do that, and I'll work like for myself? And then Jesus will say in 10:41, right? Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things, but one thing is necessary. Mary has chosen the good portion, which will not be taken away from her. She has chosen the good portion, and that good portion is not going to be taken away from her. So Martha was distracted by, you know, many good things, man. But she missed the main point. That's the thing. Like, she was doing good stuff, but she missed the main point, which is focusing on Jesus. Mary, on the other hand, she got it right. She prioritized the one thing that mattered most. So obviously, this has to talk to us in a way that, you know, there are going to be a million distractions. There are going to be a million demands on our time. And as Keller says, you know, and Papasan as well, there's no such thing as multitasking. But we need to put our focus on the central thing, which is sitting at the feet of Jesus Christ and glorifying God in everything that we do, man. It's crazy stuff. All right, so let's keep talking about this. And there's an idea here of faithfulness over success, being faithful over being successful, right? So as I said in the book, he wants you to ask the question, what's the one thing that will make you successful? But from a Christian perspective, we should be asking, what's the one thing that will make me more faithful to Christ? That is the question the Christian should pose. What is the one thing that will make me sit at the feet of the Lord more often? Success for the Christian life is not about money, it's not about fame, it's not about achievement. It's about being faithful. It's about being faithful to what? To what God has called you to do. Even if it is your career, obviously. If it's your relationships, great. If it's your ministry, awesome. Be faithful to Christ. And in in Colossians 3:23, it says, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men. So the real measure of success is, am I glorifying God with what I'm doing? For example, if it's work, if it's your career, right? Am I glorifying God with that? Am I honoring Christ with my decisions in my personal life, in my career, in my relationships? Am I growing in faithfulness, even if I'm not seeing the results? Am I doing those things for the glory of God? Yes or no? And to conclude, the true one thing that shapes everything at the end of the day, man, is, you know, listen, I think this book, as I was listening to, it's just a great book for productivity in general. But I believe theology will always push us to go deeper. So the one thing that should shape every decision, every action, every goal is the glory of God. This is our chief end. This is our main goal, is to glorify God and enjoy Him forever. This reminds me of something I was talking to the teens I work with at the church, that success is not really about who achieves the most in the Christian life, but glorifying God the most. So the next time, like, you're setting your goals, you're making your decisions, you're planning your day, your month, your career, ask yourself, am I seeking my own glory or am I seeking God's? Am I focused on my own personal desires, or am I focused on being faithful to Christ? Am I focused on the good portion that Mary received, or in the other duties that Martha was involved in? That's the one thing. Glorifying God and enjoying Him forever. So tell me more. How about you? How do you keep your focus? How do you glorify God in your daily life? Let's talk about it in the comments. Do you agree, disagree? I like to talk. Send a comment. I'll definitely answer. Like, subscribe, share to help the channel grow. Thank you so much for your audience. You guys are amazing. Thank you for watching Hebrews Theology, where we learn sound doctrine and sound theology, one sip at a time. Main idea of this channel was to record theology videos while drinking coffee, but I can only record at night. I'm not trying to stay awake the whole night. That's why I don't have too much coffee right here. But I believe there will be a time where I'll have more time, more space to kind of record during the morning and drinking some coffee. But I love coffee. I want to include coffee in this channel somehow. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.